Hi, this is Ben from 561 Music Podcast. Right now, we're trying to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It just helps us get out there more. It also enables us to monetize the podcast, to make it better, do more advertising for it and things like that. Subscribe to the podcast and hit the notifications button. That would be doing us a really big favor. Thank you very much. Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Hector.
And how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah. My friend Ollie's left now, which is a bit sad.
Ah.
But it was fun having him here.
He was here for a while, right?
I know.
It's two weeks?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, totally.
That's
so
awesome.
we got to get up to mischief and have a good time. When you live in Florida, you never do stuff like go to the beach or anything like that,
No,
unless someone wants to go. So I've spent a bit of time down the beach. It's been nice.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. Like, people come down and visit us and they're like, you guys don't go to the beach. And it's like, we work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We have things to do. We're not on vacation.
So this week we had quite a lot of low key sort of private type gigs.
Yeah. We played Evergreen, which is a community in Palm Beach Gardens. That was actually surprisingly really fun.
Yeah,
there was a really cool crowd there, and it was poolside. It was nice, nice low key. Tiki bar and stuff. Tiki bar that I painted a mural at. So
yeah,
hell
man. Yeah, multitasking down there, doing the visual and the audible.
Yeah, and they loved us, so she sent me a list of dates, and we'll be back there again in the fall.
Oh, excellent!
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then we played over at the marina in
Rybovich.
Yeah,
on Saturday. Yeah, it's always a fun gig. It's an interesting crowd because they're kind of all just chilling and doing their thing and whatever. And we're just kind of background music there. But
I met a guy this time who works on the boats. So I've got my fingers crossed that we're going to find ourselves on some mega yacht now.
Nice.
Playing music for a Russian oligarch or something.
Ironically, someone at Evergreen asked for a business card when we were breaking down and asked if we play on yachts.
The weirdest thing about the Evergreen gig, it was that a lady came up to me and asked, had we ever played at Breezy Point in New York? And out of all of the people and places it could have been, that was one place that we actually have her bar. We played at her bar.
Early Killbillies had played there before.
Yeah,
That's funny, dude.
Super weird. And that was before the 2012 hurricane.
Yeah.
So it's the same spot and the same bar, but a totally new building.
Right. All right. Well, we'll have to plan to include it in our fall tour.
I'm not surprised she doesn't remember. That was 11 years ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Band's been around for a minute here.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. So we have Young Fiction, we have Dylan, Koa, Gavin, and Tony. How you doing?
Oh, it's so much better now that we can talk.
Yeah, we've been sitting here.
That was so hard.
It didn't help that Gavin's putting his fucking finger in my ear.
I started dying right at the end there because I thought you were just going to go into a really long bit of just like a story, and it would be so funny if you were like, oh, sorry, we ran out of time. We had Young Fiction here, but I just loved the weekend.
It's so nice to have you boys. You guys are an awesome band.
Thank you.
Yeah, really love the music. And, of course, Gavin is a relative of someone at this table.
Is your kid?
Yeah, how did you know?
Tony's brother.
From
Tony's
my fifth
brother.
marriage.
Kelly finally told me.
Yeah, so we got Hector's son Gavin up here, which is great. Yeah, we've been waiting to get
Tony's my son.
It's good to meet you guys.
Can't you tell?
Finally on the show for the first time.
From my third wife. Twice removed. I don't know. Something.
One of the things that we do first is we sort of ask about your journey into music and what it was like when you were young and finding yourself and getting into it. Like, were your parents supportive, Dylan? Like, how did you find yourself playing music at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I was in 5th grade and I just like turned on when MTV was still showing music.
Good old days.
Yeah, right. It's funny I'm saying that, but yeah, it was a Blink-182 performance at the VMAs, and they had a bunch of little people jump out on stage because they played all the small things. I was like, that's funny. And just the way they were dressed and shit, it just was really, really cool. And I liked just the whole sound. So Blink-182 is what did it for me.
Nice. Interesting.
As far as parental support, my mom was pretty much like, do anything you want. And my dad was very like, be a lawyer, be a doctor. And I was like, no.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
mom
that-
won that one.
Yeah.
Sometimes that is helpful, to have that kind of friction there. You just want to do the opposite of your parents sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when did you start like playing, and what instruments and things did you find yourself playing first?
Shortly after that, guitar. Like,
Okay.
I found them in 5th grade. I'd say 6th grade I had a guitar.
Okay.
And then I tried to play percussion in middle school.
Yeah.
But my middle school teacher was basically like, actually, you're a fat kid. How about tuba?
Oh,
So I got stuck on. I was like, no, I really want to play percussion. She's like, no, I know. You're really gonna play tuba.
Cool. Tuba's for you, bro.
Great.
Yeah,
I got profiled. I
the
got
tu-
weight profiled.
Oh, jeez. the tuba. My wife, who at the time was a small, skinny girl, had to play the tuba, and the reason was because her mum said, it's funny, I know, her mum said that she had to play something that she was too big for her to bring home because they didn't want her practicing in the home, which is awful, but
It's pretty mean.
yeah, right. But
That's kind of smart,
ended,
though.
Yeah.
they ended up making her bring it home though. And so she ended up dragging this huge instrument to and from, like, this tiny little girl. I know,
That's
right?
karma on her mom for trying to pull that shit on her.
I'm saying, yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what about you, Ko? How did you find yourself getting into music?
Well, I always kind of appreciated rock music. My parents, listened to a lot of like Kiss, Def Leppard, the music that they grew up on. So I kind of heard that, and then I kind of fell down the rabbit hole as a kid of like finding Marilyn Manson, Korn. But getting into playing music was definitely through Dylan. We've known each other since we were 11. I knew him when he got his first guitar, and Dylan's also the guy who introduced me to like pop punk, alternative, and then I fell down that rabbit hole too.
Yeah.
And I remember when he got the guitar, he was like, "Yeah, dude, girls are gonna love this." And he was like talking about starting a band, and we were just kids, and we were like, "Oh, dude, let's come up with band names." And he was like, "Do you want to join the band?" And I didn't play any instrument, so of course I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!"
Yeah.
So I kind of got into it that way. Funny enough, we talked about me playing guitar, but I ended up being a drummer for the first like year or two of us playing together, and then
Okay.
just kind of found bass, and then found my way back to guitar, and
And then found your way back to drums.
sometimes, yeah. Full circle. I'm going in loops.
Yeah.
So did you have lessons, Ko, at any point?
Absolutely not. I still don't know how to play guitar.
Gotcha.
I don't know notes, chords, music theory. It's just like, this sounds good. This feels right.
Right on.
I don't know
I
shit.
pride myself on not knowing theory. I've played 40 years, still don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
It's funny, too, because we always have the conversation as a band, like, yeah, we should all learn it. And Dylan pushes it a lot, which rightfully so. We'd be amazing if we knew it. But in my head, I'm always like, am I going to learn it?
Well, there is
should've
something to be said for like a certain naivete when it comes to writing music, because you end up writing different stuff. If you have a very sort of broad and detailed understanding of music theory, sometimes it can get in the way, honestly. Not all the time, and I would say that it's sort of like a little knowledge is a bad thing. You kind of have to go through that, until you get to knowing a lot about it, because you'd be like, oh, well, that doesn't work. The rules say so. You know what I mean? But it's not music theory. I think it is important, but I wouldn't say that it is the most important thing, especially for a rock band,
Yeah, I think it would make us more efficient, but
Right.
like I think we all are creative enough that like it doesn't matter. Because like I know people who know way more music theory than me, and I'm like I write better riffs than you in like a not judgmental way.
Sure, yeah.
Like they're like, dude, I literally took a 9-month course on it, and then they come out and sound like every other indie band. And I'm like, all right, well, good for you.
Yeah.
And like
But
if that's what they want to do, that's fine. It's just I pride myself the same way. Like any riffs or anything I come up with is like it's in me because I'm like I think this is E. Maybe.
Well,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Ben saying though, like when you have that music theory, it's almost like that's the Bible and that's the rule and
Right.
that's and like you're trying to write something and well I can't do that because that breaks that rule. But why not? Why
Right.
can't it break that rule?
Yeah,
For me,
I-
it's also... I'm sorry.
Exactly. I think it's just like I was saying, like a little bit of knowledge can be a bad thing, but once you get past that and you realize that the rules are there to be broken, you know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
it's fine. But yeah, what were you going to say there, Ko?
I was just going to say, the thing, too, is like, I'm not playing like prog rock or like mathcore.
Yeah.
I play the Samantha song.
Yeah, it's pretty easy stuff.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, what about you, Gavin? How did you find yourself playing music?
I met these guys last week. My parents were never really supportive. They told me.
I was waiting for that.
I mean,
Expected that answer.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I sitting in between?
yeah.
Go.
I mean, I'm the offspring of one of the famous Killbillies.
Hey.
Great answer.
I mean, always grew up around music. I think honestly, earliest memory of playing an instrument was just like sitting there with like some bass that like my dad didn't want anymore, just like in the corner, and I couldn't hear it because everything was loud, and you can never hear bass anyway.
Yeah.
True story.
So I mean, always been playing, and then started playing drums. I don't know what,
You were
5th grade.
Probably 10.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Been 10 years, 10, 11 years.
Cool.
And then, my dad knew Justin, so I started going to LMC, doing bands
Yeah.
there, doing my own thing. Started writing music at LMC, and then, got past LMC, moved on, found Young Fiction, and then...
Did you find this place helpful?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would have stopped Youth with Dylan falling off the stage last week, or 2 weeks ago, if I had not come to LMC.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going through LMC and being like 10, 11 years old and having Justin come by and knock over my drum set mid practice just to piss me off. I know what to do now when stuff goes wrong.
No,
and
Justin's
stuff does
good
go
with
wrong because we're in Young Fiction.
Every show has
By
a little
nature.
curse. Yeah.
What about you, Tony? How'd you find yourself playing music?
Well, my first rap song was called "Do the Underwear" when I was 4 years old.
All right, I want to hear "Do the Underwear" so bad now.
Yeah, dude, it's on like a 1999 compact, but if I can dig the hard drive up, I got you.
We got to
But-
find that.
Yeah, it was a classic. I mean, if it was the internet was
This is the first we're hearing of this.
no,
I've
"Do the
never-
Underwear" was a strong Tony classic.
I think Young Fiction needs to revive that song.
Yeah, I got you. I got the lyrics.
How have you never brought this up?
I know, how have you never
You're
brought
one of my best friends, and I've never heard this story before.
I thought you were kidding.
No, this is a real thing.
Holy shit.
I was in. You know what? I was in my underwear. It was a freestyle.
So
off the
how do
head,
you
bro.
do the underwear?
You just
Great answer.
like you just kind of do it. Like
He's an artist. It just comes to him. It's a muse thing.
It's
from
all
above
up
him.
here. It's all up here.
Yeah.
But other than do the underwear,
The classic.
my brother showed me how I'd never really listened to rock until I was like 13.
Yeah.
Never heard a rock song. Never really was interested. And then my brother showed me an Hollywood Undead song, and then I played Guitar Hero 3 and heard Before I Forget by Slipknot, and it was just like, oh, this is the best shit I've ever heard ever.
Nice.
Right.
Like immediately, it was like no judgmental anything. It's like I picked up a guitar within like 2 weeks of knowing the song,
Oh, cool.
and then I played like some Hollywood Undead covers on keyboard, like on GarageBand, just kind of playing that just for fun, and then just kind of kept learning more Slipknot songs on guitar,
Nice.
and then eventually interned at a studio and met these guys and switched
sweet.
spots with him.
Good
Well,
stuff.
your dad was also a musician.
He was
too.
very much a musician
Yeah.
all my life. He started really young too, like 6 years old. So it was always like instruments around. Like,
It's cool. Did you play in a band or anything like that?
no, I've been looking for one.
Right.
No, he was like touring for a while.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Just
His dad's like secretly Kanye or something.
yeah, he played
My
on the
dad
cruise
was
ship.
like, he was a little bit big.
Yeah, this is Tony West. I forgot to tell you. Left out that last name.
That's great. Yeah, I find a lot of people who come on here have other musicians in the family, and it's really nice when they do. I haven't. My mum is a musician, and she was the one who kind of pushed me towards that. And I have an uncle too who's a musician, and always used to look up to him when I was growing up. So that just became the thing I decided I had to do in a way. It was the path that was chosen. But yeah. So how did you guys? When did you guys start Young Fiction, and where's the name from?
So I count the start of the band as the Respectable show. That's my start time of that.
Yeah,
That's what I
basically.
count.
It was the
So-
first time anybody really saw what we were doing.
Yeah, so I'd say November 2018 is the official birth date of this project. But
Yeah.
like Koa mentioned, when we were like 12, 13, we were playing in like crappy, like just covering Fall Out Boy
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of things.
Do you still have any tunes that you play now that are partly
From back
old
then?
ones from then?
Like original songs?
Yeah.
No, we didn't have any originals.
Oh,
we didn't have any
gotcha,
originals till
gotcha.
this band.
Okay,
Version
okay,
back
cool.
up, yeah. And then the name is you, if you want to take that.
Yeah, I like coming up with movie ideas, so I had
Yeah.
this idea for a movie, and I share them all with Dylan, and the name for it was Young Fiction.
Right.
So when we were starting this band, we started it kind of out of necessity, because we've been playing in bands for years and years and years, but it didn't ever go anywhere.
Yeah.
And maybe it was our fault because it was always the two of us and just never worked out with anybody else. So I was like 18, about to turn 19, and we were just leaving a band practice at Dylan's house. The other guy left, and we both kind of knew, like, this isn't going to work. So I said, look, dude, it's you and me. Like, this is it right now. Like, we made a pact. And a month later, Dylan was like, hey, I called up a recording studio. We're going to go make a fucking album, just the two of us, at 19 years old. And we did. And it was funny because at the studio, the producer was like, by the way, what's the name of your guys' band? And me and Dylan were like, oh, fuck. And we were coming up with names on, like, the drive home. And it's, like, all shit names. And Dylan's like, what about that movie idea that you had? And I was like, Young Fiction? Yeah, go, I don't fucking care. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
So
the good name.
That's how we got it. Thank you.
Hector and I are starting a band called Old Fact.
Right. Old Facts.
So, do you have a...
FAX.
I was gonna say, I was like, I'm glad I heard the
Facts, right? To double in content.
Do you have a way that you guys write music? Like, is there a process?
No, which is what's fun. There's no set process. So, like, sometimes we'll be at rehearsal. Well, like literally when we, when we first came in here, me and Co were just like messing around on guitars. And then it's just like I was hearing him play something, he was hearing me play something. I started singing to what I thought was the key. Yeah. And that's sometimes is how it happens. Yeah. Other times, like I'm sitting on like literally 13 songs that are done that I have to give to them to like, here's what I think the part is, but like take the liberty with it. Yeah. So like all the lyrics are like almost entirely me. Right. So like that, a lot of it is just like I'll just notes app, just whatever.
Do you find yourself leaning towards certain themes more than others?
Depends on when you're asking that question. Because like 2-ish years ago, I had not really been like through a breakup. So like we have like a bunch of songs that are like weird like concept songs. Yeah. So like Youth is one of those. That's like not actually about a person. It's like about an idea. Yeah. But like I personified. Sure. You know what I mean? And then like Grim is about like the Grim Reaper. Yeah. And like so there wasn't, and then like recently I went through a breakup, so then it became
that'll do it.
Yeah, time to write 12 songs.
You know, it's kind of funny. If you go back and like listen to the first album, there are songs like about girls, but I guess not a lot of them are like breakup songs. It's like, oh, why won't you text me back type shit, you know? Right. And it's funny that you say like you didn't go through a breakup until recently, because now we've got a lot of new songs that are like, you broke my fucking heart, or like, you know, all that bullshit.
Yeah. It helps.
Well, we've all written them, and it's definitely a very fertile ground for songwriting, because you got to get, it's like that music is therapy thing. You got to get those feelings out somehow,
Yeah, I also like the breakup shit is cool just because it helps me like therapize myself. But I also really like I write a lot about like my anxiety and like any like depressive waves I have. It's super easy to write about that shit.
Sure thing.
It doesn't feel like one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've written about just like family shit. Yeah. Friends that have been shitty or like whatever. Sure. So yeah, I just basically like I have a therapist, and I still do like therapy through music by just writing however I feel.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, me too. I can relate, and I write about that kind of stuff all the time. Yeah. It's definitely another fertile little area of writing for sure.
Yeah, music.
Mental health.
Music's definitely therapy, man. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we get to a gig and I'm in a shitty mood, and an hour later, Ben's like, "How you feeling now?" I'm feeling great.
Better, right?
Yeah, great.
Rehearsals are exhausting, but they make me feel better.
Yeah. I mean, we've had we had a show a couple months ago. We all went into it pretty angry. I mean, to the point where we were about to cancel the show, just walk and leave everybody high and dry. But we went on stage and we did our thing, and it ended up being a really fun show. Yeah. And we all walked off stage, smiles on our faces. Like we were happy and we were feeling good after the show.
On that note, you raised a good kid, because we, as the people who've been in this band longer, were like, we're pulling out of the show. And Gavin was the one that was like, guys, like we told them we play it. Like we said we would do it. Yeah, they're being kind of shitty, but like let's just play it. If there's one person there that sees us, that's good. And I was like, God, when the kid's right, he's right.
As much as I'd like to take credit, and I guess I played probably a small part in that, but to be honest with you,
for sure there's credit to be given to you.
But LMC, man, LMC and Justin, that's like when when the kids go through these programs here, they don't just take lessons. Like they don't just learn how to play songs or learn theory or whatever. They learn
it's a philosophy.
They learn how to be in a band and how to act in a band and how to be professional in that band. And
We should have taken that class.
So yeah, it's totally.
I'll give you a crash course.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that was instilled in him here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I reinforce it, and obviously, and I live by that. So he sees that, but it's definitely something he picked up here. There's no
Like
doubt
I
about
said
that.
in the beginning, like everything I do with this band or any other band I've been in, I mean, all of the other bands I've been in have been LMC bands.
Yeah.
So obviously it's to be expected because everybody in those bands has been through like same thing I've been through, knows the same stuff. But being in a band that, I mean, you guys know like real like people just telling you how to do it.
Yeah.
Just me doing my thing and doing it how I've known.
Yeah.
I've noticed that like as a band, like we've all become like more professional just by like, the stuff that like I do because of LMC. And
Interesting.
Then
That's really, really good to hear.
Well, it's important. We've had musicians on here, Ricky and some other people that have been on here before that have said before. Andrew from Sons of a Tradesman also said it too. I mean, there's a lot of musicians have come through here and said it, and it holds true that like Gavin was saying a minute ago about that show and saying like, guys, if there's even one person here that wants to see us, we should play. And we've had so many musicians come on here and say, I can play to a room with 10,000 people, or I can play to a room with 5 people, and if there's even one person in that room that came to see us, we got to give it our all, and we got to do what we're there to do, because that person could have done anything that night, and that person, even if it was one person, that person came to see you guys or us or whoever that band is. You got to give it your all for that person. And I know sometimes it sucks. You got like 3 people in the room, and you're like, "Oh God, this is brutal."
Well,
but
you're
you got,
absolutely right.
but you got to play for that person.
Yeah, that's why we have number one fan at the bar at Tough Times. Where's our T-shirt every time we go?
Yeah.
Oh, bless. Yeah, and those are the people you got to look after. Like, and sometimes it's not necessarily like someone who you would hang out with in real life. But the truth is, if people are coming to watch your band and they care enough to come and watch you regularly, you got to treat them like kings. What a compliment that someone cares that much. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. And I do want to say, I mean, that show is one of the only times we've ever considered that. It was based on management of the show, not like, is there not going to be any people there? Like, we'll fucking play shows to 3 people. It's the way
we have played shows to 3 people.
The real truth of that show was literally like, we played at like 8, which we didn't actually end up playing until like 9:15, and they were like, "Yo, sound checks at 2 p.m." and I was like, "Why?"
It was just a lot of unprofessionalism, but
it was their first time.
To defend them, like, it was their first time.
Yeah.
They were inexperienced and they were just cutting their teeth, just like we were doing.
We were just grumpy. We didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
It was like a Sunday. We were like, Christ.
I'll also take credit for being the most grumpy. I was like, fuck these people, I don't want to fucking do it,
Yeah, he was not happy.
Ironically, I think I know what show that was. I think I was there.
You were.
I know what show that was.
Me and Tony
funny.
eventually got to a point where we were just laughing at like, God damn, this is like...
That's
like
the way to do it. It's all about attitude in life. If you can find the funny side, then you'll be all right.
Yeah, when we were supposed to go on and then a half hour passes, like, there's 2 more and then it's you guys. I just went back to Tony. I was like, dude, this shit sucks. And we just found the humor in it because we take ourselves seriously, like, as like we're a band and we want to be presented seriously, but like, you see us on this podcast, you talk to us after or before a show, and like you see us at any point, like, we're fun dudes. Like, we're not trying to, we're not pompous about it. We just want you, like, we're a band, but like,
no, I get it.
We're really cool guys. We're like the best.
Right, you take it seriously, but you're laid back about it. You know?
Yeah. We don't take it too seriously, but we're also the best ever. So,
yeah, I would agree with that.
So you guys, you were saying earlier that you guys, that Young Fiction kind of was born in 2018, and that was the 2 of you guys, Cohen and Dylan. And so at what point did this, because I know you guys have had a few players and stuff in the band, at what point did this group of guys come together?
what was our first show with us for?
Like, Tony, how long have you been with the band?
January 2021, was it?
Okay.
Yeah.
That was your first show. You technically joined the band?
No, he's right, because it was New Year's that you pitched it.
And then
Did you say January?
Yeah, he said
Yeah,
January.
and then we played.
Man, I thought you said June.
Yeah, that's when we played.
That was your first show.
Oh wait,
Loser
your
Lounge.
first. Funny enough, his first show was here. with
Okay.
us.
Oh,
The live stream we did.
yeah.
Yeah, that was his
Yeah.
first
That was my
set with
first
Young Fiction.
performance ever.
Okay.
Wow, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah. So that was February 2021.
Okay.
And then when did you officially?
Poorhouse
Poorhouse
was November, I think, maybe.
Okay.
No, that was over the summer, I thought.
Was Poorhouse? Oh, you
But
might
you know
be
what?
right. Yeah.
That was our
Poorhouse
first
is a lot of
show.
fun.
Was at
Crazy
Poorhouse in
sometimes.
Fort Lauderdale, but we made Gavin a member of the band in
Officially
Orlando,
in Orlando.
at Uncle Lou's.
Yeah.
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 Which that was fall, right?
That was fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
September-ish, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it on my phone. I could check, but
Yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, this iteration of us is like 7 or 8 months.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting too because you guys touched on like me and Dylan were like the ones who started the band, but like Tony and Gavin had been to like our shows before. So whenever we have like band conversations about like what we should be doing or how it is, you know, they have that perspective of like what Young Fiction looks like from the outside.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's always a very cool conversation, I think.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I know exactly what you mean by that as well. And we got that a little bit with Hector, because Hector had seen Killbillies before we joined, and you know, and he always said, "Oh, you guys look like a really fun band to be in." You know, this is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. The irony of it is that I went with my wife to O'Shea's one night, and Killbillies is definitely not the kind of music that I normally listen to. It's not what I would normally like. You know, it's not what I'm rocking out into. in
You're
the
like
car, I
mostly
promise.
klezmer and polka, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I'm normally listening to. But for whatever reason, 10 years ago or whatever it was, I was at O'Shea's and these guys were playing, and I actually said to my wife, I'm like, man, these guys look like they're having a lot of fun. Like, this is the kind of band that I want to be in someday. You know, like I want to be in a band like that where everybody looks like they're having fun and everybody looks like they're friends and then, fast forward to, was it 3 years now? Almost 3 years. James, our banjo player, I'm in another band with him, Euphoria.
It's a great sentence, by the way. Our banjo player.
Yeah.
That's not one you hear a lot.
You don't hear that very often. But he's in another band that I'm in, and we were finishing band practice one night, and their bass player was moving away, and he said, "Do you guys, do you want to?" Actually, started out, "Do you want to fill in for a little bit?" And I said, "Sure, I'll fill in for a little bit," and
Here you are, filling in 3 years later.
yeah, and I said I could play a couple times a month, and now I'm playing 16 times a month or whatever it is. It's ridiculous.
I love that though. I love that you said too. It's like it looks like these guys are friends who are having fun.
Yeah.
because like that's what I love about
Yeah.
being in the band that I'm in. I'm lucky to be a part of it, because I've known this motherfucker since we were 11. He's like family. Tony is like family. I love this dude so much. I was the bass player for
I
Young
was left
Fiction.
out. That's crazy.
Hold on, fool.
That's crazy.
I'm not there yet. Hold on.
He's getting to
He's
you.
going,
front of my own father.
He's going chronologically, Gavin. He's coming back to me, then Tony, then you.
Because I was the bass player, and I was like, nothing's ever going to change that. And I met Tony, and like a year into our friendship, I was like, yo, I want you in the fucking band, bro. Like, I'll go to guitar, you play bass. And Gavin, it was interesting because we've had a few different people come into this band, and I love a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's nice because Gavin is like, you're like a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not speaking down on anybody, but like you come in and it's more than just like band practice and shows. It's like you come over, you watch UFC with us, you hang out with us, we get dinner and shit.
Yeah, man.
It's nice because it's like even more fun.
Well, it's important.
for
It's
sure.
important, man, to have that. You have to have that chemistry with your bandmates. I mean, otherwise, if it is just band practice and shows, then you do get to that stale point where you're just like, I don't really want to do this anymore.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
say. Oh, I'm sorry.
Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, like even bands I go see live, like I love them, and it doesn't look like they like not that they dislike each other, but like, I'm like, have you guys looked at each other this entire set? Whereas I feel like even in the local scene, like I don't like this. A point of pride for me is like how much I look at each of them individually. Like I make eye contact with these dudes every set, no matter what.
Yeah.
I at some point stand on my amp and look at Gavin or his set and look at him.
Yeah.
I go right in Tony's face. I go right in Koa's face. Me and Koa make faces at each other. We put our tongues out. We like smile at each other.
They
and-
make out right on stage.
Yeah,
for
right.
about
Okay.
5
It
minutes
gets hot
in the
in
middle of the
Yeah.
show.
That's why it's a 21+ show.
Yeah, a little reach around sometimes, but yeah,
That makes sense.
just to show like
He went there.
these are not dudes that I met because we play music. These are my best friends
Yeah,
that
sure.
play music with me.
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
not like
That's the dream. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys have that because I feel like we have it in Killbillies too, and it just makes the world of difference.
I mean, one day I'll be in a band with some friends. Right now,
these guys are all right.
cold, bro, cold. So talking about the Florida scene, you started to sort of bring it up a little bit there for a second. How have you found it? How has it been supportive down here?
Yes and no. Everyone. What's cool about everyone is they want to play shows.
Yeah.
What's not cool about everyone is when you're booking the show, they don't want to answer you.
Oh yeah.
So
true.
like, I've been trying to book a band. I'm not gonna say, but I've been trying to book a band for like a year.
Yeah.
And every time they've said yes, where there was 2 weeks of the show, and then they pulled out. And I was like, look, we all have things. That's fine. And I keep trying. It keeps not working.
Right.
And
booking is
it can be a nightmare.
It's rough.
Yeah. The most recent time, I was just like, hey, show on this date, and they were like, yeah, let me ask the rest of the boys. And then 3 weeks passed, and I went, so what about that show? And they said, what show? All right, I guess you guys are not playing it.
I tell you what, in general as well, like when you're a bit younger as well, in your like early to mid 20s, people are a lot more flaky at that age than when you get older.
I mean, that means it's going to get better, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does for sure. In that regard, at least.
Your
body starts falling apart. That's the only time.
I mean, there's really, for the most part, it's kind of like if you're cool, people will be cool to you.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's some cases where that's not the situation, but a lot of it is, like Dylan said, like people who want to be a part of this and people who are okay with supporting each other and who in fact like doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've also found, like, kind of, I don't know, maybe on a different end of the spectrum, that it's kind of like high school. Yeah. Where, like, you have your cliques where it's like, oh, here's, like, the cool kids.
Yeah,
here's, like,
sure.
the avant-garde artsy kids. And I've always talked to Dylan about, like, we're in it and people know who we are. And we definitely have friends. Like, there's bands and people who we love.
Yeah.
We love being around. We love playing with. But I always feel like Young Fiction has been the band who's like, yeah, people know who we are, but we're not, like, part of a clique. We're kind of like, we're the kid in high school who, like, people knew, but, like, people didn't, like, it's like, what are you
I know
about?
exactly
what
you mean.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because I think you and me both felt that way in high school.
Yeah.
Like, I knew a lot of kids that didn't like each other, and I was friends with both of them.
I was the exact same way.
Yeah,
Like,
so maybe
I'll
that's
hear
what
about-
brings us together.
I'll hear about drama sometimes, like in the scene, and I'm not going to air anything, but like I'll kind of look to Dylan and be like, "Yo, thank God we're not part of that."
Right. Yeah.
Not that we're not part of the scene, but part of the drama.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because I don't know, we try to be chill.
Yeah.
No,
I
that's
hear that.
important. Yeah.
What about you guys?
And actually, Carol, I was going to ask, because neither of us like currently drinking, and it just sort of occurred to me to bring it up when I heard about that. Like, how have you found playing a lot in bars and things, and how is your sort of relationship with alcohol been? Whilst also trying to be in a band and be in bars and venues and things.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's March now. I quit drinking at the end of November.
Yeah.
So
Nice
and
one.
we didn't have a lot of shows like in the first couple of weeks. It was hard. It was hard
Yeah.
to stop drinking because I didn't realize how much I had been drinking
For sure.
for a long time, and it was very, very difficult. And going into my first show, I won't lie, because like for years at our shows, I was drunk every single, like piss drunk at the very least, every single show. So I was kind of nervous. But then when the first song comes in, it's always Gavin starts on drums. When I heard him go, do-do-da-do-do-da, I felt like that, like warrior spirit, you know? I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You know? And just being around alcohol in general, like I'm 24, so I'm around it with friends, in the band, going to clubs, going to bars, stuff like that. I guess I don't really have any triggers because I already kind of want to drink anyway.
Right, yeah,
You know?
okay.
So nothing triggers me, but I'll be honest, like I recently, like a week ago, I got past my 100 days of no alcohol.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And a little bit before that is when I stopped feeling like cravings, like
Sure.
that constant kind of want
Takes
to
a
drink.
long time, doesn't it? It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it got easier over those first couple of months, but it was still like in my head, I'm like, yeah, I would like to have a drink right now.
Yeah.
You know? I wasn't fiending for it, but definitely, in the past maybe month and a half, it's been a lot easier.
It does. Something happens, and then it just becomes what you do. It just becomes a habit to not do it.
I mean, and I'll tell you what too. I've got friends or other people who I talk about this with, and they go, "So are you done drinking forever?" And my answer is just like, all I know is I'm not drinking today.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's the answer. Yeah,
It's funny though. I was never a big drinker, but I did drink when I played out. I mean, that was just, I would typically, whatever band I was in, I would have a beer while I was setting up, maybe a second one right before we started playing, then I'd have a few while we were playing or whatever. In my head, it was always like, I mean, it's liquid courage, you would, it's what everybody calls it. So I would have a couple of beers and I would, would take the edge off and I would get up on stage, and I've always been very nervous, on stage and stuff like that.
Really?
And so, with Ben not drinking, James and I don't drink when we play with Kill Bill. It's just out of respect for him not drinking. We don't want to drink around
Trust
him.
me, it wasn't like my idea.
No, it was definitely not his idea.
Yeah.
It was just we just did it. And the first same thing, man. I mean, and again, I wasn't a heavy drinker, but like first few shows that I just didn't drink at all at. Yeah, I mean, like the first couple of notes, I was like, oh god, what am I doing? People are staring at me. I don't have. Where's my beer? You know, but you get over it really quick.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, while we're on the subject, just a testament to his like will on this. We just went to Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And he was dry the whole week.
Wow.
We were all, me, him, and three other friends, blasted every night, and he didn't touch. And he ate and he did not drink. And there's not a sip of alcohol.
Well, congratulations.
Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're killing it, man. Keep it
I'm
up,
trying, man.
That's awesome. So, you guys are pretty good with your online stuff. Who does your online situation? Koa. So, can you tell us a little bit about what that entails and how much you have to do?
So, a lot of it is like making content that looks good, that people will want to like or want to watch if it's a video, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's stupid shit like following the trends, like especially with the TikToks or the Instagram reels.
Yeah.
But it's part of it, you know? It's an essential part of getting yourself out there, making yourself relevant, you know, everything like that. Yeah. And it's something that we really broke into, like I'd say midway through 2022, because honestly, I run Young Fiction's social media and online presence and everything. I don't use social media like that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really. I grew up with it, of course, but I didn't grow up like commenting on things or like all that stuff. So there was a learning curve to it.
Yeah.
And it's funny actually because one part of it is the engagement, which of course I want, but I have a hard time dealing with. Like like seeing comments makes me super anxious. And I'm happy they're there, but even like the bad comments, but the good ones too, like it overwhelms me.
Yeah.
So luckily Dylan takes that part. So if anybody responds to you on the Young Fiction account, it's not me.
I grew up on like the shit talkers part of the internet. I was early YouTube, Facebook, early Twitter. So like, you can't hurt my feelings. And I don't get anxious on it.
I'm the opposite.
People comment, really?
Yeah.
People comment. There was a kid like last year who was like, "You guys fucking suck," and I just was like, "Dude, literally write something. Let me hear it." And he DM'd me and showed me something. I was like, "Dude, you suck. Like, I would fight you, bro. Like, you're not gonna get me." So I grew up on that. So like when he said he was anxious, I was like, "Oh, dude,
I got this."
My job is just making stuff that like hopefully people will not hate.
I do want to say one time we did an ad for a music video, like one of our first music videos, and so we did like random people were saying it got like 10,000 views and stuff, and so we were getting random comments and a lot were positive, but there was one that was just a dude just went gay. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's a classic. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just the opposite, man. If somebody comments on something we posted or whatever, and it could be a general comment like "one of you sucks," I immediately go, "Oh, it's got to be me. It's got to be me. It's definitely me."
Yeah. I flip-flop between caring and not. I don't know. Some days it'll get under my skin, but most of the time it doesn't.
Yeah, it definitely it'll get it hits me, but especially because like if someone tells me my band sucks, they're probably not talking about like Gavin and Tony and Koa. They're probably talking like most likely like you're attacking a band because they're a singer usually.
Right.
I would never be like that band sucks because the guitarist is like playing weird. So if you're mostly if you're attacking us as a whole, it's also like and the singer too. So like I always take it personally.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or like it's directed at me, but I try not to take it personally. But it is hard, because you're like, I think this song's pretty good, and someone's like gay, and you're like, fuck.
That's crazy
He's
too.
right.
Like, that was something I remember. Because I remember that instance. And it was something where, like I said, we made our first album when we were 19. Like, we wrote all the songs ourselves. We recorded it. All of it was funded by us. Like, our parents didn't give us money or anything like that. Like, we were just 19-year-old kids who were like, fuck, we need to get money now.
Yeah.
And then we put all this work into it, and we put it out, and it's like, it's there. Gay. Fuck!
God damn it.
No, totally. I hear that, mate. So, what I'm curious about now is to actually hear some of this music. Why don't you guys go over there and play us a couple of tunes? Does that sound good?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's
for you.
go, Dylan.
Yeah, wicked.
So yeah, this is one we don't play often, but we love bringing it in. So ready? Here goes nothing.
I'll play it.
Just
what the hell is wrong? Is it me? 'Cause you don't wanna talk no more. Am I that much of a chore? Now I am completely torn. 'Cause we were close till you took your clothes off. We don't speak, I listen, but you won't talk. What can I do except just wait here for you? Can you grow up and tell me the goddamn truth? Remember when you called me up just to yell about those things you told no one else? I was always there for you, all feeling sincere and true. You're so cold, you're nearly blue. 'Cause we were close till you took your clothes off. We don't speak, I listen, but you won't talk. What can I do except just wait here for you? Can you grow up and tell me the goddamn truth? 'Cause we were close till you took your clothes off. We don't speak, I listen, but you won't talk. What can I do except just wait here for you? Can you grow up and tell me the goddamn truth? 'Cause we were close till you took your clothes off. We don't speak, I listen, but you won't talk. What can I do except just wait here for you? Can you grow up and tell me the fucking truth? Just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. Truth. This next song is our most recent single, Moment for Life. It's about having a good time with your friends. It goes like this. And every moment without them just feels like I'm underwater. And every second alone makes me realize it's so much farther to stay content. Well, I need all these people, I need all my friends. Well, I need all these people just to get me to the end. Well, I wanna hold on to this moment for life, useless and wasted with these friends of mine. Well, I hope these memories keep me in line. They keep me thinking that I'll be just fine. Well, don't think we'll ever look back on these days with anything less than a smile on our face. Well, we've been through the ringer, we've been through it all. It's good to know those hands will reach up for you
when you fall. Well, I wanna hold on to this moment for life. Useless and wasted with these friends of mine. I hold these memories to keep me in line. They keep me thinking that I'll be alright. I never thought I'd make it, but with all you, I'd never trade this life. All those wasted nights were wasted when we were wasted and we were high. We did it every weekend and it was the best time of my life. I never thought I'd make it, but with all you, I'd never trade this life. All those wasted nights weren't wasted when we were wasted and we were high. I never thought I'd make it, but with all you, I'd never trade this. I wanna hold on to this moment for life. Useless and wasted with these friends of mine. Well, I hold these memories, keep me in line. It keeps me knowing that I'll be just fine.
This episode and our festival are sponsored by Pure Honey magazine, and it is a staple down here. It's been just such a resource for South Florida music scene. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it, Molly?
Yes, back in 2011, they went old school with the physical zine that provides both a service to the South Florida scene and a vehicle for businesses to get their messages out to a growing segment of readers who continue to embrace and admire a retro product.
Yeah, it's really cool. I don't know if you've ever read Pure Honey magazine. I'm sure you have. They're all over the place, and
Absolutely.
They're really great.
Yeah. Pure Honey has been around for quite a while now, and it is an absolute resource for musicians, for music, for shows. They have an amazing online calendar. They have an amazing calendar in the physical magazine. It's just been a huge resource for shows and musicians. And we are very, very fortunate. They reached out to us when they saw we were doing our festival for the second time this year, and they reached out to us and immediately said, we want to sponsor. How do we get involved? So having someone like Pure Honey involved in 561 Music Festival is absolutely gold to us.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes us feel official. So thank you, Pure Honey. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, and big props to Pure Honey for stepping up and sponsoring us. This episode and the festival are also sponsored by Backsaver Chiropractic Care and Therapy. These guys are absolutely amazing. Dr. Christopher White over there, great chiropractor, amazing, just individual, amazing person, huge supporter of the arts and the local music scene. They were one of the very few sponsors, one of the only almost sponsors that we had for the first festival. When we had the first festival, Dr. Chris White stepped up to the plate and said, "How do I get involved? I'm going to do this. Let's do this." And was one of the purchased one of the top tier sponsorships that we had for the festival last year.
So kind. We couldn't have done it without it. It really saved us. So we really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And this year, when we announced the festival, I don't think I had even finished the announcement that the festival was going to happen, and he was reaching out again. How do I get involved? Let's do this again. And once again, they are our top tier sponsor. So, thank you very much to Chris and his whole team over there. If you guys are involved in an auto accident or any personal injury issues, you have back issues, anything like that, go see Dr. Chris White. He's absolutely amazing, and Backsaver. Those guys are all amazing over there. You know, they do the massage therapy, they do the adjustments on your back, you know, anything like that. So definitely go check them out and tell them we sent you, and tell them thank you for being huge sponsors of local music.
Yeah, excellent chiropractors and also patrons of the arts. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
561 Music is sponsored by Handlebars Bar and Grill. We have been sponsored by Handlebars for a long time now. They've been incredibly supportive of the podcast. There's been a lot of changes up there. Now the food is supplied by world-famous McRae's Backyard Barbecue. That's 1977. McRae's Barbecue is fantastic food. The first one I went to was down Riviera Beach, and it is really some killer barbecue. So if you're looking for delicious food, somewhere to ride your bike out on a Saturday or Sunday, and delicious beers, then Handlebars has got it all for you. We're so happy to have McRae's involved with the whole thing because they're really up the game in terms of the food. There is a bike night every second Thursday of the month, and Handlebars is open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come check out Handlebars in Tequesta, just off US 1. Hope to see you there. We are also sponsored by Oasis Root. Now, Oasis Root Carver Bar is in Seagrape Square on Indian Town Road, and it is a carver bar. If you don't know anything about carver, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water, and it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, you know, that brings people together. You all take a shell of carver and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It's has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a carver bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of carver bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby-foot as they call it in France. And yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very, very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Root Carver Bar. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band, and his band, Unemployed Youth, accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue, and we can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in, and it was a real success. But outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. It's north of the gas station, right before you get to North Lake on Military Trail. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there. Thanks. So we just listened to an ad for LMC. Do you guys have any advice for musicians that are just starting out?
Rehearse all the time, as much as you physically can. It's the only way to stay consistent and get better.
some advice I got was like, if you fuck up, like kind of own it. I'm not saying keep fucking up, but like play it off, because part of being a musician, I think, is being an entertainer.
Yeah.
And
Big part.
have fun with it.
Yeah.
Do it like you meant to.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Show must go on.
Yeah.
Even if they
Weird
fall off the
weird
stage.
one for me. Pay attention to like practicing too much.
Someone said that last week, actually.
Yeah. Just really odd. There was a point in time where for about a year and a half I was in 2 bands and doing like a show every other week or whatever, and both my band practices were back to back, and I started getting carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
And like I was 17.
Yeah.
So like
That's scary.
and also at the time I didn't want to let my bands down, so I didn't stop like everyone told me to.
Right.
Like every doctor I went to and every person I talked to, and no matter what, they were just like, dude, just rest. Like that's just, you have to rest. And I was
Yeah.
like, not an option. Sorry.
Except me. He'd come home from the doctor, and I was like, "You're
Yeah.
such a crybaby, man." Just
Yeah, he actually
fucking
would
man up and
lay
do
my
it.
hand down on the table and
Hit it
then
with
just
a-
punch it for
Yeah.
like 3
No,
hours
hit it,
on
hit it
end.
with a mallet a couple
Yeah.
times, and I was like, "This will tenderize it. You'll
Like
be
you said,
fine."
that should loosen it up.
What
Yeah,
about you,
nice
Tony? You got
massage.
any advice?
Considering someone who struggles with this, express yourself through your like body and mind, and just really push yourself out there with just creative ideas.
Yeah. That's some great advice, and really, I think one of the main reasons that a lot of us do this, just to get it out. It's a form of communication. That's for sure. And you're right, Koa, what you were saying about being an entertainer. You're right. It is a big part of it. And people don't go to a gig to watch like the most perfect, unless it's like jazz or something, to watch like the most perfect performance and judge on like little areas of technique. They go to have a good time.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that you give people a good time, and I think
There's a lot
to
of-
remember.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that, where if you as a band look like you're having a good time, and every time I've seen you guys live, you guys look like you're having a good time, whether you are or not, I don't know, but you look like
Absolutely
you're
not.
having-
Every time I'm like,
you're miserable. I know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
That's why I'm
that
screaming.
like that show that we were talking about earlier was like one of the only ones where we weren't enjoying ourselves as we went up, and then it was just through the songs. Like, never
But
mind,
that's
go
what I'm
fine.
saying. If you look like you're having a good time, though, the crowd is going to have a good time.
Right.
And
Well,
that's
it's so important.
that's something Ben really kind of beat into me. There was a lot of shows where, like, if I didn't get my
Did he hit
tone,
you?
pretty much, yeah. If I didn't get my
Tenderized your
tone
blink
just
twice
right,
if Ben hits you.
yeah, if I didn't get my tone just right, I was all, miserable and angry and pouty faced and everything, man. And then Ben was like, "Man, you got to smile and whatever." And so now I'm just like,
Well, the thing is like
sucks.
things, whether it's on you or the people around you or on your gear, like something's gonna fuck up.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
And it's also important too, like you said, like especially for us, like put on a good fucking show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because there's a lot of factors, and you kind of touched on this earlier. Like, people are spending their time with you.
Sure.
They're spending money, they're spending gas, and who knows what else they're sacrificing to be there. So you better fucking entertain. Like, I've been to shows where like, and Dylan has too. We went to these shows together growing up where like the band didn't look like they wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And it's like, why should I have fun if you're not?
Right.
Exactly.
And for me as well, being somebody who would go to shows, like I know what it's like to want to bang my head, but like the vibe isn't there. So I'm just like, okay, hands at my side. So if I'm the craziest motherfucker in that whole venue, that's your open invitation to have
Sure.
some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
that is true that you don't know like what someone's like been through or done to like get to that show, and that might be like the one night they really need. Because
Yeah.
like, I drove to South Carolina to see a band in 2021 because I liked them so much, and it was a headline show. I was like, sweet, I don't like my job, let's get out of here, and went up with a friend, and the guy played the show with like a total sinus infection. And they
Right.
sounded like, he sounded a little bit worse than usual, but he's like, I didn't want to cancel the show because it's like, I wanted y'all to have this.
Yeah.
And that shit just meant so much to me because I was like, dude, I drove so far. If you canceled, I would have been really
Yeah.
fucked. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, so like, I respect that kind of shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like that time that I went out to Vegas to go see the When We Were Young festival, and that they did cancel that.
Fuck.
Damn.
Man,
And like,
that's,
Damn.
talking about like stuff going wrong, like honestly, me personally, if I listen to a band and I go to see you and you sound exactly like note for note how you sound like in my car or on my phone or whatever,
I'm just going to listen to you in my car.
yeah, I'm just gonna listen to you in my car.
Yeah.
So like, it's fun for me to like go to shows and like see stuff go wrong and then see the band handle it.
Yeah, I
Like,
hear
Especially
that.
if they have fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, like my Stage Mom debut, like going to that show in Margate, my snare stand broke in half.
Yep.
In the middle of a song.
Oh,
and
man.
like
I have a picture of that.
Yeah, and Kim from Stage Mom actually came up and had to hold a snare like
What
in
a
my
legend.
lap for
Yep.
the remainder of the song.
Yeah,
she's
shout
good.
out to Kim, man. 'cause
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
I literally I have a photo of Kim squatting down next to Gavin, holding his snare while he's playing because his snare stand broke.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And
Respect.
I mean, that's something else too. It's like when you fuck up, it's like you're gonna notice either if the band fucks up and they kind of pout about it, if they make it a big deal and they like let it affect their attitude, or if they laugh it off and they find a way to make it work.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, like
we
when
played a
we-
show at O'Malley's just last week where Dylan fell off the fucking stage.
That's crazy.
And everybody
That's
laughed.
crazy.
We kept playing.
They all
We kept
pointed and
playing,
laughed,
and then I
yeah.
made a fucking TikTok out of it.
Yeah, there
And
you
it's
go.
And the TikTok's
going
pretty good.
very well right
You got to make a boomerang. man.
Yeah.
So he's like,
That's what I said. That's
We should make
you want
that.
to talk about the tar? How your string broke?
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
We have a song called Tar that we play. It's not a song that's out yet, but we play it in our set. And one of the first times we played it, I was playing on my guitar and my fucking string broke.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? You know? And then, so I was drinking at the time, so I was like, oh, I'll kind of play it up. So I put my guitar down. And I just started slamming beers. But then after I was done drinking, Gavin was like, Cole, come grab some sticks. So I grabbed some sticks and I joined him on the drums. We'd never played it before, never did it, but it came out good. And we had so much fun with it that now every time we do tar, we have an extra tom for me. So
Oh,
I
nice.
play the drums on that song with
That's
Gavin.
awesome.
That's pretty sick.
And it's just one of those things where it's like,
That was a swamp, wasn't it?
the first time that
I
happened was
remember-
at
I
Swamp
remember
Grass
that.
Willies and Gardens.
Yeah.
And now it's like a staple of our show.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was one of those instances where it's like, I fucked up. Like, I had a fuck up, but then it's like, you said the show must go on.
Yeah.
Like, you got to make the best of it.
Yeah.
I
And
remember-
sometimes it turns into something where it's like, oh shit, that was awesome. Were you gonna say
I
something?
remember was it Sanford, and when
Yeah.
I stepped on my cable,
Mhm.
and it just absolutely just like,
Yanked it
shut
right
off.
out.
Yeah, like broke the inside, just kind of,
Ah.
and I just like, oh, quick, yanked it out, put it down, just jumped in the crowd, started pushing. Like it was like
Yeah.
perfectly at like the beat drops. Just,
Yeah.
like, everybody started moshing, got everybody to actually move. It was like
Mhm.
I was
Yeah,
like
nice.
I'm not really active, so it was like really cool to just try that. And then one of the band members handed me his bass like before that song ended, so I got right back up and was like,
Nice.
Yeah,
it's
there you
also
go.
really cool about
Yeah.
having a cool scene and people being really nice to each other.
You know, I
Yeah,
remember for that
absolutely.
show, I didn't know that you like broke your bass for a song. I thought you were just feeling yourself. I was like, "Fuck yeah, Tony, fuck yeah!" I was like, "Yeah, get it, boy."
Yeah, it's like
Hey, so you guys played a couple of songs for us. What were they about?
Yeah, so listening was about a girl, classic. Yeah, I don't know. I like that one a lot just because I really like that that chorus I wrote because I think the like pretty stereotypical thing is like, oh, dudes want sex and girls want like intimacy and like communication, and that song is literally about like the opposite happening to me.
Right.
Me and a girl had Jesus Christ, I'm nervous. We had
Calm
like
down, Dylan.
sexual, something sexual between us, and from that she just like kind of ghosted me completely.
Right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
like that song is just important to me because it's like, well, here's at least a perspective that isn't super represented, which is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's a usual just like sad about a girl shit, but it has that spin on it, so I am proud of that one.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wicked. So we have a
What was
picture of
the
yeah, go
second
on.
song.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
What's the
sorry.
second one about?
Yep.
Oh yeah, the other one's Moment for Life. That one is literally just about like if you see me with any friends at a venue, that is who that song is about. Just like throughout COVID and all the shit we've been through in the last couple of years, like all of us have been through like a lot. Like so many people have like lost family members or like been broken up with or like lost their jobs or whatever. And through it all, we were always just like we always get tighter. Like every time something bad happens, we get closer.
Yeah.
So that like those weekends in COVID, we were so like we're like, dude, we're gonna die. Like the world's gonna end. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
One of our friends got it and brought like he didn't know he had it and tested positive the next day, but he brought it into the house with like 15 people. And I was like, oh shit. So it was just about those weekends that we
Yeah.
spent together during that and got like stronger and tighter and just like more of like that's when I really was like, oh, this is my family.
Yeah.
So that song's about like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love playing that song live too, because like our friends are very supportive. Like we come from like a very tight knit friend group. Like a lot of us know each other's families. We go on vacation together,
Nice.
holidays together. A lot of us have known each other for like most of our lives.
I love
you know?
that. Yeah. It's
And
cool.
they're very supportive where they come to a lot of our shows, and it's always a special moment because we dedicate it to them
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're fucking family.
Yeah.
And in our most recent show, at O'Malley's, this place was packed. Like, a lot of people were there. But for that song, all of our friends found their way to the front, and they all put their arms around each other and were singing back to us. Like, I had a smile on my face the whole time. I don't mean to embarrass you, but
I cried.
Yeah, Dylan got emotional, like, during the song.
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
surprised.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's
It was
awesome.
one of the best moments of our lives.
It's funny because you guys were talking earlier about how, Gavin joined the band 7 months or so ago, but was already hanging out with you guys and stuff and becoming friends with you guys.
Yeah.
And I remember him telling me, I don't know if it was right before he joined the band or right after he joined the band. It was right around that time, though. He said, "Oh, check out the new video that Young Fiction has." And I'm watching the video, and it's Gavin and all his friends.
Yeah.
It's a house party, and the whole video is like it's Moment for Life. It's about friendship, and so it's all these friends dancing and having a good time at this house party, and it's Gavin and his friends in their video.
Brilliant.
That video really hit me the first time too, because like I mean, obviously I wasn't in the band when the song was written or when the video was created, so watching it for the first time, I mean, I was in the band, but I'm still watching it from a fan perspective.
Yeah.
And then, just like, I mean, like you said, just like seeing the video, I mean, it was a house show.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
It's me and all of my friends, and then you and all of your friends, and then
lovely.
now it's like, it's just us.
Now
And-
you're
and,
just
like,
all friends.
Yeah,
Now we're
all of our friends are friends now.
Oh, that's
That song is so nostalgic to me. It's like
Yeah, that's the
it's-
thing about it too. It sounds
the
like,
video is
yeah.
so like relivable of the
Yeah.
times we were talking about, and like
Yeah,
it just brings it right back.
It's a perfect example
It
of
is a
exactly
cool
what I was
video.
talking about.
I'm really
Sounds
happy
and
that
looks.
show was recorded because I don't remember that night.
Can relate to that. So, let's take a look at this pedal board that we took a picture of. It's Koa's, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about it, man.
This is Ben's shopping hour. He looks at the stuff on there, you talk about it, and then he buys it the next day.
Yeah, sure. So I've got my notes out because there's a few pedals on there, and I want to sound somewhat intelligent when I speak about it.
Gotcha.
So this is my pedal board I use at shows. I use for jamming. I don't use all of my pedals during the show, but it's my pedal board, so they're all on there. Fuck you. And it starts off with my tuner. It's the Onstage GTP 7000 mini tuner. It's awesome. I mean, it's funny too because I was resistant to using pedals for a long time because I was just like, I wanted to be minimalist. I wanted to just plug it and play. But even then, I had a tuner. It's like fucking essential. You know what I mean? That goes right into I have a mini wah. It just saves real estate on my pedal board. I don't use it a lot. I use it just to jam.
Yeah.
I actually just got it like a few weeks ago, so I'm
that's fun.
still playing with it, still using it. That goes into my Ibanez Tube Screamer. I use that for an overdrive pedal.
That's a staple.
Exactly. And you know what? I got a fucking bone to pick because I ordered a new overdrive pedal. I ordered a new overdrive pedal over the weekend.
Yeah.
Today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be here by today. Motherfucker didn't ship it until today. I'm pissed
mate.
off. I got the Way Huge Conspiracy Theory overdrive pedal, and I'm super excited to play it.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And I was like, oh man, I can't wait to get this because I'll be able to talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, dude, fucked me.
Oh, that's annoying. So, I play in a band that plays like bluegrass and stuff like that, and Celtic music, and I have a tube screamer on the pedal board. Almost everyone has a tube screamer.
Yeah, I mean
They're
that was
amazing.
that was the first pedal I ever bought. I bought it back in high school. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I knew the name Ibanez, and I'd heard people use pedals, so
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. But I didn't really learn how to use it until like in the past year.
Yeah.
You know. From there, I go into my distortion pedal. I use an MXR Super Badass.
Yeah.
It is quite indeed super badass.
Yeah, cool.
Sorry.
It is both super and badass.
Exactly.
Just know
It's
what
awesome.
goes
I mean, I'm not in like a metal band, but I get good chugs out of it when I'm palm muting and stuff like that.
Nice.
From there, I go into my Way Huge Russian Pickle. That's the fuzz pedal.
Yeah.
I don't use that super often. Admittedly, I use it on particular songs.
Right.
Actually, one of my best friends, Sophie, her brother Nico is a musician, and he sold it to me for a good price. And I was like, yeah, I'll fucking take it, man. Of course.
I mean, I would have bought it just for the name, man. Way Huge Russian Pickle.
Yeah.
Who the fuck doesn't like that?
Exactly.
So sick.
And what does that go into? Sorry, I'm looking at notes. That goes to my Boss GE77 band EQ.
Yeah.
That's actually Tony's pedal, or it belonged to his father. He inherited it.
Yeah.
And Tony wasn't really using it, so I was like, hey man, I need an EQ.
Funnily enough, I gave one of those to Hector.
To me, and I use it to like get feedback out. Well, the upright bass is notorious for having feedback,
Yeah.
and so I use it to boost and get a little feedback out and stuff
Yeah.
at the shows. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you bring up feedback because I go into my my noise gate from there. I've
Right.
got Roman guitar noise gate, and just off of what it does for me is one of my favorite pedals.
I can relate. The noise gates are great for your
Yeah.
kind of music too. It really helps with the chugs and everything.
Oh yeah, and especially like I go from overdrive into distortion into fuzz, and even though I don't have the fuzz pedal on, like it affects my tone, you know.
Right.
And then this noise gate was like $30-$40 on Amazon,
Yeah.
so it's like, fuck yeah, dude.
They're
You know?
great. They work great.
I love it. And then that goes into this is actually a new pedal as well. I got an Lot Music Analog Chorus Mini.
Okay.
Again, just something I'm playing around with. I don't use a lot, but I also just got it, so we'll see. You know, who knows?
Sure.
From there, I go into an MXR Phase 90. Again, a pedal I don't fucking use a lot, but I use it sometimes.
And it's a classic.
Yeah, and it's my pedal board, so I can have what I want.
There you go.
From there, I go into my Boss CP1X compressor.
Yeah.
This actually is also Tony's. He lets me use it.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure stuff.
And I know a lot of people keep compressors at like the front of their chain. I like it at the end.
Yeah.
Just I
Smooth
use it as
everything
like
out.
kind of a boost.
Okay. Cool.
And then from there, I go into my MXR reverb, and then into my is it Behringer? Behringer? Vintage
Behringer.
Behringer. I'm fucking stupid. It goes into my delay pedal.
Gotcha.
And yeah, like I said, I don't use a lot of these like during our live show, like all that much. Sometimes if I just want to make some noise or something.
It's nice to have the options for
Yeah.
sure.
The ones I consistently use are my overdrive, distortion, EQ, noise gate, and compressor.
Yeah.
Everything else is just like,
Do you ever just get a pedal and then kick it on and play a few chords and go, fuck, I'm writing a song?
yes, absolutely. We
Yeah.
actually have a couple of songs right now, like Dylan said earlier. Sometimes we'll be in the rehearsal spot and we'll just be making noise, writing a new song.
Nice.
Yeah.
And this happened literally over the weekend where I was like, I turned on my fuzz, my chorus, my reverb, and my delay, like the pedals I don't use, and I was like, this is what I'm doing for this song.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
man.
it worked.
It worked
you know?
out
Nice.
amazingly.
Yeah, I always find a new piece of gear or a new guitar. It can be very creative. You know, you just you're strumming something on it. It sounds a bit different than usual, and it just sparks a whole creative outflow. Yeah. So, what's coming next for you guys? What's in the pipes? So, like, what you got? Any gigs coming up? You got any releases coming out?
Tony.
Do you know what's coming out?
Yeah, do you know what's coming out?
Man, worry about you, man.
Yeah, so show-wise, I mean, yeah, we're actually like super busy. I mean, we had this tonight, and then next Saturday we have Orlando.
Nice.
End of the month. The end of the month is one of the craziest runs we've ever had. We have to do Tallahassee on the 31st, which is a Friday, and then the very next day we have to play the 561.
Have
Yeah.
to get to play the 561 music.
Gun to our
box.
head, have to play. We're not allowed to pull out. No, but like, yeah, that's gonna be rough because it's like driving driving up to Tallahassee on Thursday.
Yeah.
Driving back down day of to be in Lake Worth by not even by 6 or to be there before we play.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah,
play
man.
by 6 is like,
You'll be all right.
yeah.
Trust me.
This
I've
is our
done
first.
worse.
This is our first like real run like that. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
excited to do it, but we're like, oh
I think
shit.
we also just announced the Tallahassee show just now.
Yeah, I think we're yeah.
Guys, we're playing Tallahassee.
Other than that, yeah, I mean, we've got songs like kind of locked and loaded. Some of them are still getting mixed. Some of them, I have to fix with like, I messed up a word or like a guitar part, so I got to go back
Okay.
to the studio. But, nothing like official, but like things are like by the summer things will be out. Like,
Where do you guys record?
kind of depends. Like we'll go. We have two friends that both have like home studios.
Sure.
So we're using both for two different things. So like one of them has like 3 songs we're doing, and one's doing 1, and
Okay.
then go from there. See how we like both, and
Nice.
then kind of go from there.
There's one question that I didn't ask that we ask everyone who comes on here, and it's one of my favorite ones, which is, do you practice like your instrument at home?
When there's a show, more
Right.
so than like I don't practice like chords and like music theories and shit. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
don't. I in full transparency don't. But I will spend 2 or so hours a week like working on songs that are being written
Yeah.
or writing, or just like I just sit in my bed for even just 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
And I'll just play something. I'm like, I like the way that feels. I'm gonna hit the camera on and just like do that.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. What about you, Kai?
Yeah, I mean, it probably not as much as I should be.
Right.
A lot of the time, it's like if I'm just playing around with pedal boards, or because we'll throw covers into the set sometimes. If it's a cover I've never played before,
Sure.
then yeah. But also just sometimes I practice like our songs because we kind of have that punk influence. So I got to down pick a lot. I got to do it quick. So if I don't practice that, I'm gonna lose it, and I know it because I've lost it.
Yeah,
So-
no, yep. You do have to keep that going for sure. Yeah. What about you, Gavin? You practicing a lot?
To be completely honest,
Yeah.
because I only have like the one set, tearing it down for shows and everything, I pretty much haven't practiced in about a year. I mean,
That's pretty
He's
cool.
a killer drummer.
I mean,
dude.
when like
But you practice with the band.
I practice with the band.
Oh, yeah,
and
we rehearse a lot.
And
So your only time playing drums outside of the show is with us at rehearsal.
Yes.
That's so sick.
I mean, most of the time my drums are either in my car or in my room.
Right.
Just because I mean it's a pain in the ass to set them up.
It's a lot of shit.
But honestly,
You
I
just curse
just
in front of your dad.
pain in the butt. I'm sorry.
I think his dad has cursed in front of him a few times at this point. So
yeah.
that ship
We'll
has
beep it out.
sailed.
We'll beep it out later. It's fine.
But yeah,
Edit
to
it.
be completely honest, I think I play guitar exponentially more than I play drums at
Oh,
home.
I didn't know you
Gotcha.
played guitar. What the hell?
100%. Every
No.
time I walk in, we have a little cottage in the back, and that's where he stays at. And every time,
don't fool them. It's a tent that you like threw a couple hot dogs
it's
in.
not a tent.
expected
It's
to
not a
stay.
tent. It's a completely separate building. His kid's 19 and he's got his own place.
Do I have to call somebody?
Right. But every time I walk in there and he's like chilling out or whatever, I walk in there and he's got his pedals out, he's got his guitar out, he's got a Black Star amp, is that what it is?
Yeah.
A tube amp, and
Trying
he's just
to take someone's
he's
spot in this band.
he's
Gavin.
back he's
I'm
back
trying
there
to take his. I got some pedals to share.
he's back there
Somebody-
jamming.
I'm gonna give my spot away again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Moving a keyboard.
I'm about
But
to
yeah,
give
but no drums though. Everything's stacked up.
I mean,
Let's get you an electric set or something, buddy.
how much do you practice your stand-up bass?
Oh shit.
A lot more than you think I do.
I mean,
You're
mean,
never home, so
That's true.
you wouldn't know.
I'm just trying to avoid it. Your instrument's also very cumbersome, so.
Yeah.
That is-
What about
I
you,
said
Tony? You
cumbersome.
practicing?
Not like technical stuff. More
Right.
just our songs or
Songs, yeah.
producing. Like I work on the computer a lot on music, so it's like I'm always just trying something new. Just
Yeah,
I think
and
Tony
then
makes beats.
Yeah,
stuff
nice.
Like that.
so I just
Yeah, he writes about his underwear.
Yeah,
that's my favorite thing
It'd be
to
funny
write
if it was
about.
like 100% of the time it was about underwear.
I think I have like 3 albums worth of.
Underwear songs.
I think I'm moving on to socks next, but
he actually wrote the thong song.
Yeah.
It's a little
He's got
funny.
more songs about underwear than he has pairs of underwear.
Cisco, I did it first.
What have we got coming up, Hector? Let's go. This is a crazy couple of weeks for
Yeah,
us.
this is like March gets a little stupid for us. So Friday night we're playing O'Shea's, who is having some sort of Irish fest.
Yeah.
Saturday we're playing at Irish Fest in Abacoa
okay, yeah.
on the big stage there.
Yeah.
And then Saturday we're back at O'Shea's, who is continuing their Irish Fest.
Yeah.
Saturday night. So we're playing, Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. And then do you have any solos on
smokes.
Sunday?
No, not this Sunday.
Not this Sunday.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
I think we're doing something with Paddy Max on March 16th. I'm not 100% sure exactly what it is. But then on March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, we're
playing
at Paddy Max all day.
Yeah, we're playing a short set at Paddy Max. We're going to start at noon and we're finishing at about midnight.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
that's not an exaggeration. That is
No,
a
for
true.
real?
That is a true story.
Yeah,
we're playing
yeah.
12
Noon to
hours.
midnight?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
playing 12 hours.
We're going to be there all day.
Yeah.
How many
It's,
songs are you guys playing?
About 1,000.
No, that's
Just
for,
one
so
really long
That's for
song.
like 100 songs?
I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot of
we
songs.
probably
What the
play
Around halfway through the day, we start repeating some stuff.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
And we do things to kill a little bit of time. Like we pull things out that we don't normally play at regular gigs, like jigs and reels that are Irish things and stuff.
Yeah.
We switch instruments. Like he starts
That's
playing
dope.
a mandolin.
Holy shit.
Our banjo player switches to my bass, and then I pick up his guitar.
Yeah. You do your slam poetry set.
Right.
I do
That's
my
it.
interpretive dance.
Of course.
Yeah.
There's a ventriloquist act. It's a whole
Oh
fucking
no, it's crazy. I do a clog dance thing. Yeah, it's a long thing.
Oh, we
I've
got to
seen
get
that.
you doing a
Yeah,
clog dance.
Yeah. And then so that's Paddy Max on the 17th, and then
Yeah.
on the 18th we're back at O'Shea's again.
Yeah, and March 18th we're playing Tiki 52.
Oh,
actually.
Tiki 52,
But
yeah.
in the day from 3 to 6, James and I are playing at the Square Grouper. And then we're playing Tiki 52 in the evening. So it's going to be a fun couple of weeks.
Couple of weekends.
Sorry, I got
yeah.
a little distracted by the charming accent. When are you guys playing O'Shea's again? I wanted to see you guys there.
This
playing.
weekend on Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday?
We got to
Yeah.
try and
Yeah.
make it over there.
I think
'cause
we can. I think we
love
can do
going
that.
to
Yeah, we
Oh,
like
man.
O'Shea's is our starting spot every time I go out.
Yeah.
Oh man,
cool.
yeah, come out. Yeah, we
Yeah.
play nine
pregame
to
with water.
1, something like that. 8:30 to 1.
8:30 to 12:30 is what we're aiming for, but it might end up being more like 9
to 1. Yeah,
That's exactly when we go. So
Oh, perfect.
yeah, awesome.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm looking forward to it even more now. So, that's what's going on. We got any other stuff we need to talk about? The festival.
We need to talk about. Well, first let's talk about the hotline. Justin. We now have a 561 Music Hotline. That's right, folks. 561 Music Hotline. 561-203-9122. 561-203-9122. Call us. Leave us messages. Yell at us. Profanity preferred. I don't know. Just anything funny that you want to share with us. Any cool music things going on in the 561 area. Any questions you have about the festival.
Can they call if they're just like
comments?
lonely?
I mean, they can call if they're lonely.
Like
sure.
a phone sex thing, maybe?
Sure. I mean, we might charge for that, but yeah, sure. I mean,
How much? I have a card.
I mean, I mean, call us, ask questions about the festival, ask questions about the podcast. Funny is encouraged, and we will try to get to. Are you doing it now?
I called you guys. I'm leaving a message right now,
As
as I was prompted to do.
As we speak.
That's great.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to listen to it later and then go, I don't remember him calling because I'm old, and so that happens. So 561 Music Hotline, guys. Look at that! It just popped up on my phone. It says I have a voicemail from you.
Oh, brilliant.
I wonder what it says.
Yeah, so call the 561 Music Hotline, ask us questions, leave us comments, and we'll try to answer if anything comes through. We'll try to answer at the next podcast. So
Yes,
561-203-9122. And now
love
it's
that.
time to talk about the festival.
Indeed.
Woohoo!
It-
561 Music Festival 2. This
Yep,
is
and
our
you're the best at this, so just
second
please,
one. I'm
please
just going
take
to rattle
this
off
one.
about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right, so guys, this is the second of its kind. This happened last year. It was very successful. We had an amazing time. We had 20 bands. It was $10. We kept it like that this year. It's 20 bands again for $10. That's 50 cents a band. You cannot go wrong. We've got Octogato, Tasty Vibrations, Uproot Hootenanny, Jake Walden, Joey Caldereo, Bryce Allen, Libica, Killbillies, The Shake, 1983, Dominic Delaney, and The Dead Language. I love how his name takes up an entire line.
I know, yeah.
The Buck Stops Here, Rogue Theory, Young Fiction, Hadiz, Stumble Steady, Eastway, Andy Styron, Euphobia, and Fox Maple Band. 20 bands for $10, guys. It's happening April 1st at Matthews Brewery. You can purchase your tickets online at 561musicfest.com or 561musicfestival.com. If you'd like to sponsor the festival, we would absolutely appreciate that because it takes money to advertise this stuff. We've got palm cards, we've got a street team passing things out, we've got posters, we've got banners, we've got social media, online ads that we're running, and starting today, we have billboards. That's right, digital
baby.
billboards along 95. So this is costing us a small fortune, and if Ben and I want to stay married and not get in trouble for spending all our money, please sponsor the festival. But we do want to thank the people that have stepped up and sponsored, and that's Backsavers, Oasis Kava Bar, Pure Honey Magazine, Raincat Studios, Easy Teas, Live Music Community, Galliano Family Salon, and of course Matthews Brewery for hosting us there.
Yep.
This is going to be April 1st. It's going to be all day from noon till about, I think, 11. Again, $10 gets you in at the door, or you can go to 561 Music Fest or 561musicfestival.com and purchase your tickets on there. If you do want to sponsor, in the ticket link, there is a drop-down menu that actually brings you to the sponsorship tiers, and there's different tiers starting at $250 and working its way up. There's all sorts of different perks if you sponsor. You do get tickets as well for your staff and things like that. So, there's definitely sponsorship opportunities there. Tickets are $10 for the general admission, but we do have I don't want to call it a VIP. I think I call it there's general admission and there's general admission plus. General admission plus is $25, and that gets you a ticket and it gets you a T-shirt when you arrive. You give us your shirt size, and we'll have it waiting for you at the door. The beautiful thing about that is that it's $25 for both the ticket and the shirt if you buy them separately. If you buy your ticket first, or you buy your ticket at the door and then want to buy a shirt at the festival, it's $10 for the ticket and $25 for the shirt. So you're saving about $10 there, and you're getting a commemorative shirt. things are going to be a little bit different this year. Last year we had 2 stages, and one stage was strictly an acoustic stage. This year we have 2 stages, and both stages are full on, full sound, full band, full lights, full everything. We're going to rock your face off from 12 noon to 11 p.m.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely amazing. Again, 20 bands. While one band is setting up, another band is playing, and the people are just going to rotate their seats and look back and forth at the stages like they did last year. There's not going to be an empty second of airtime.
Nope, keeping it going.
Yep. We're going to have the 561 Music Living Room this year, which we didn't have last year, and that's basically a set of couches somewhere backstage. We're going to have the band stop by, all the different bands stop by for about 5 minutes, sit with us, rap with us about the festival. If they've already played, what'd you think of it? If they haven't played, why are you here? We want to know, what you think of the festival, things like that. So, and then we're going to take all of those clips, we're going to put them together, and the episode that we record the Wednesday after the festival happens to be our 100th episode. So that will be that episode. It will be an episode with all the clips and a recap of the festival and everything. We're very excited. So we're celebrating our 100th episode. We might even have cake at the festival. I don't know. I haven't decided
My
yet.
mum and dad are coming to visit that week, so they're going to see the festival, and then they're going to be around for the recording of that podcast. I was wondering if I'd bring my mum in to be like,
no, that'd be amazing,
So
dude.
I'm so happy that we get to play it.
Dude, well, we're excited to have you guys, man. I mean, it was funny. We did this festival last year. Of course, I got Gavin and his sister and all their friends to volunteers. We needed people for like parking lot duty and stuff like that. And Gavin kept watching band after band, and there are all these amazing bands. I mean, we've been very look. I think the 561 scene is amazing, and we've been blessed to have almost 100 episodes now, and of just
very
really
little
very
repeats.
very very talented individuals and bands and stuff. And so when we had 20 bands last year, it was absolutely amazing. It was just band after band after band of just amazing talented people. So Gavin was watching this whole thing happen, and he just looks at me and he goes, I'm going to play this festival next year. So I said, get yourself a band and we'll make it happen. And so here we are.
I got myself a band.
So he got himself a band.
Manifestation.
It works
out.
So you got Jake Walden playing this year?
Yeah.
Jake was in our first band back in middle school.
No way.
We grew up with that motherfucker. We played Xbox with him back in the day.
Dude,
we went
that's
to
awesome.
school
He's
together.
an amazing
He's
musician.
one of the most
my
talented
God.
dudes I've
What
ever
an
encountered.
incredible
He's so
guitarist.
fucking
He
good.
actually, we have very, very few repeats from last year. We've tried to make it a very unique lineup again this year. And so we only have maybe 2, maybe 3 people from last year that we asked back again. Jake Walden was one of those. They just absolutely killed it last year.
Yeah.
They have such a unique blend of
I love his
blues and
guitar
rock
sound,
and everything.
yeah.
It's just
Incredible.
It's so good, and everybody just absolutely loved their sound and stuff. So when we were trying to fill all the spots, we were sitting around one night and we were like, we should see if Jake's available again, because that motherfucker's good.
He's the reason I got into drums, because in our first band, I was supposed to be the guitarist. We showed up to Dylan's house just to jam. Jake just randomly picked up the guitar. He's like, you mind if I noodle a little bit? I said, go for it. And he started ripping. Dude's like 13.
Yeah.
And I was like,
man.
hey, man, you're the guitarist for this band. I'm like, I'm going to learn drums.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So, I guess the last thing to do is to just say that thanks for listening. And if you want to go on our web, can you do the website stuff? Because you're better at it than me.
The website stuff is, we are 561music.
.com.
The social.
Oh, that's 561
I thought
Music
you were better at
Podcast.
this stuff.
Yeah, I'm not apparently.
So neither of you are very good at
561
it.
Music Podcast.
Podcast, yes, 561 at 561 Music Podcast is all our socials.
Yeah.
And our website is 561music.com,
That's
and
it.
that gets you. There's links on there to listen to all the episodes. There's a YouTube link that gets you to watch the episodes. There's links for sponsoring episodes. There's links if you just want to donate, if you don't have a business or anything, you don't want to actually be a full sponsor. There's links on there for volunteering for the festival. There's links on there for the festival, and there's links on there for Killbillies as well. So
Indeed.
561music.com gets you all of that. But again, if you want to purchase tickets for the festival, 561 Music Fest or 561 Music Festival gets you there.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, you've really just been knocking it out of the park with all this stuff, man. I just have
Until you put me on the spot. Yeah, well,
He
what?
folded.
What?
all of the structure surrounding the festival and the podcast is all Hector's hard work. So I appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. I quit, by the way.
I would be somewhat out of my depth if I had to do this on my own. But yeah, all right. Well, thanks so much for coming, guys.
Thanks for making
We
eye
really
contact with me
appreciate
the
it.
entire podcast. I was like, "Oh, your mom's coming. You're gonna introduce me, I guess, because you look in love with me right now, bro." Every time I look over, just.
I mean,
No, but thank you for having us.
it's
Bro.
okay.
You're married as long as I am. Things start to get a little weird.
You gotta spice it up, son.
Exactly.
No, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having us. This is an honor. We really, really
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
it.
It was a lot of
Nice
fun.
one.
Yeah, man, we're happy to have you guys.
And thanks for raising such a good kid over here, man. Love this guy.
Yeah, Tony came out great.
Yeah, Tony. Yeah.
Where would I be without him?
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we're outta
Appreciate it.
here.
Yeah, we're out.
Peace out.